Hi, Steve Roy, author of the Killer Stand-Up Online Course. In this video, I want to discuss stand-up comedy material as it relates to two stages of development. The first stage of development is what I like to refer to as work-in-progress stand-up comedy material. Work-in-progress stand-up comedy material is any stand-up comedy material that doesn't yet generate consistent, frequent, and significant audience laughs. The other stage of development is what I like to refer to as core stand-up comedy material. Core stand-up comedy material has been refined, honed, and tightened to the extent that it generates consistent, frequent, and significant audience laughs each time it's performed. And when I'm talking about significant audience laughs, I am specifically referring to generating an average of 18 or more seconds of laughter for each performing minute on stage. Now, here's why it is important for new comedians to get their initial 3 to 5 minutes of core stand-up comedy material developed and tightened as soon as possible. First of all, it'll be the initial core material that provides a comedian with the confidence in their ability as a comedian. Initial core material also provides the foundation for a comedian to develop and try new and untested stand-up comedy material. Once a comedian has their initial core material, it also becomes easier to develop and introduce new stand-up comedy material into their act. In other words, if their new stand-up comedy material is not generating the laughter levels they want, they should be able to quickly transition to core material they already have developed that does work. And last, it will be a comedian's initial core material that garners them the attention to their talent and recognition as a viable comedy entertainer. Also keep this in mind. Stand-up comedy is a process of calculated and consistent repetition that produces the same high-level laughter results virtually each time a comedian performs. Now, some new comedians are under the false impression that they must perform new material each time they are on stage. The problem with that is if they do that, they have no consistent way to tell if their stand-up comedy material will be consistently solid or not. And there are other comedians who develop and deliver stand-up comedy material over and over again at stand-up comedy open mics that simply doesn't get the laughs. But they're under the false impression that somehow that stand-up comedy material will get funnier over time. And let me assure you, that doesn't happen without making adjustments, editing, and other things that you can do to try to further develop and get that comedy material in shape. Needless to say, both of these issues can add significantly to the time it takes to develop stand-up comedy material that actually generates the big laughs on a consistent basis. Let me wrap up this video by saying that the faster a new comedian can develop 3 to 5 minutes of core stand-up comedy material that works well on a consistent basis, the faster they can begin to effectively work on introducing new stand-up comedy material into their act. And let me also say that being able to quickly develop stand-up comedy material that generates laughs is not just about focusing on one thing. It's about being able to understand and incorporate a number of aspects at the same time and being able to make intelligent decisions when it comes to adjusting or eliminating stand-up comedy material that doesn't work to get the big laughs.